Hello everyone, Dragon here. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever you celebrate. And I know I haven't been making that much videos as of late this year, and I deeply apologize if I haven't. This year was a very rough year on my end, but with every year has its lows, there's always some ups along the way. And one of those biggest ups is that I finally got Special Edition Syndrome finished. And looking back on Special Edition Syndrome, it was definitely my most anticipated project that I've worked my whole ass off on. And especially the topic, the topic of Special Edition Syndrome is something that, I always wanted to talk about, even far back pre the KO video. In fact, literally, that's how long I've been working. Well, I had the video in mind. Hell, it's even mentioned in the opening crawl that I did in part 1. Though, in this video, it's generally going to be another update video that I always do yearly, but this is probably the first one I've done in the end of the year. To start things off, I'm actually going to talk about what's going to be planned for next year. Yeah, I actually have plans what is going to be ready for next year. Because a thing that I rarely do, or mentioned in the previous update videos, is that things are going to change on this channel, and even the other channel. I guess the first thing I would like to mention is that there's going to be different styles and even different types of videos that are going to be appearing on the channel. And a lot of these are actually going to be videos that I actually used to do in the past, and that is unboxings and collection videos. If you've been watching my videos since 2016 or 2017, you might remember I used to do these often every time I would get something in the mail or find something at a thrift store or whatever. Well, those are coming back, and they're most likely going to be more well edited and more knowledgeable because, well, I know what I'm getting, and it's not like, oh, it's a big surprise, although a lot of the things are gonna be big surprises, mainly a lot of the Blu-rays that I actually got the past few days, especially since I got them as basically as early Christmas presents. That, and basically try to change up the style of videos I would always do, and add more variety to this channel, because as much as I like the documentary, essay type videos, I don't want to make it just fully just that. There's plenty of other things I could do than just that. Not saying I hate the format, I just need a break from it, because I don't want this channel to just get stale and just doing these types of videos over and over again. Because I don't really want to burn myself out, because a thing that I didn't mention about Special Edition Syndrome is that video burned me out like fucking insane, to the point that I always lose sleep working on it. And I feel like with videos like these collection videos and unboxings, I feel like they'll be more fun and more energetic compared to the documentary type videos. I'm not saying I hate them or I'm gonna stop doing them. There's gotta be a day I'll stop doing them, but we don't know when. But unboxings and collection stuff I want to showcase next year is going to be something that I'm hopefully going to do, although it's mainly going to be more focused on movies, music, and comics, since I haven't been really collecting that much gaming stuff as of recently. No, I lied, I do have some gaming stuff, but it's not like in the past where I would get a new OG Xbox game in the mail or found from a retro game store or something. Although the topic of retro game collecting is actually going to be the topic of another video, which of 2 flashcards that I bought for the Sega Saturn and the N64, and that is another video that's going to be on my launch list of next year. Another thing that is on that same list is also commentary tracks. Commentary tracks for my videos have always been something that I've always wanted to tackle more further, because the first time I did a commentary track on one of my videos was when I did Alien Ship Escape, and oh boy, it is a very And oh yeah, one thing about Marcus, the main protag. My voice, I had to lower his voice to make it more, I had to lower the pitch for him to make it more like he's edgy and more like grown up and shit, and I hate it. And it's weird that the commentary track of this short film is worse than the actual short film itself. That, and also that commentary track was the main reason why my snowball microphone went to shit, so yeah, that's another reason why I now really fucking hate that commentary track. But I genuinely promise next year I actually would probably do more proper commentary tracks for my videos. One that I've been always trying to make and always been eager to do would be the KO video commentary track, since there is a lot of misinformation that I got wrong when I did that video, and plus, to cut me some slack, that video was made when I first played the first KO Flying Squadron, and at the time I didn't play the second game, and I still haven't played the third game, though I have a lot of information about that game. Which, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the PS1 game is basically the real third game. Spoiler alert for most likely a potential KO sequel video.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
I did had plans to do a commentary track for the KO video for its 1-year anniversary, but what happened was that, like I mentioned earlier, my snowball microphone went to shit, and not only did it affected the KO commentary from not happening, it also affected a bit of a delay that happened with Special Distance Syndrome, which eventually I had to use a handy-down microphone that belonged to my older brother, which I guess an update to that. Now I have a newer microphone, which is basically different and kind of similar to the other microphone, but it has 2 more pop filters, and I also have a specific audio interface similar to the Focusrite, which is funny enough made by the same company who also made the microphone. But yeah, that is something I'm looking forward to making next year. But that depends if it'll ever come out or not. Then another thing I would like to tackle would be retrospective and semi-history videos. It's gonna be way more different than the typical review format, since I'm gonna be going through a fuckload of things than just one particular thing. Well, there's gonna be times where I'm gonna take a look at one particular thing. The 2 I can think of that are gonna be part of the retrospective thing would be Ghostbusters and the Ghostbusters video game, because it would be a great excuse for me to actually talk about Ghostbusters for once on my channel, because I am a massive Ghostbusters fan, and I would love to actually nerd out and talk about it. Mainly the fact that how the video game basically turned me into a fan to begin with. And another one that would also be a great video for a retrospective would be the Harvest Moon games. Mainly the old ones, because honestly I feel like talking about the old Harvest Moon games, there hasn't been a good video that covers it in detail. There was one video that I recall seeing, but I really forgot the name of it, but I remember that video did a good job on comparing what made the old Harvest Moon games great and what made the newer ones really eh. And I'm not talking about the Story of Seasons games, I'm mainly talking about the ones that were made after Marvelous decided to drift apart from Natsume. I feel like that would be something interesting to talk about. And my personal experience with the Harvest Moon games. And also talking about how after the Wii games and after the whole split off between Marvelous and Natsume, the series kind of lost its charm. And it's just mainly going to be the Harvest Moon games. I'm not going to tackle Story of Seasons or Rune Factory. I will mention Story of Seasons, but Rune Factory, I haven't played a single Rune Factory game, to tell you the truth. Another one would most likely be fun to tackle would be a retrospective on Boomerang. It would also be a great excuse for me to cover Golden Age era cartoons and also a lot of great stuff from Cartoon Network. And even a lot of the stuff they used to air on the channel, like the Wedgies, the Groovies, the Shorties, you know, all that stuff on the channel. Because, you know, there's not that many great channels that cover cartoons or animation history that much. Sure, Rebel Taxi would often put out a video here or there, but he has fallen down as of recently.
I mean, look, you ever see Cool World? Don't you want to live there?
I would bitch and joke about Saber Spark, but honestly, people have already beaten the dead horse enough to the point that, like, I don't really want to mention Saber, and plus, because I do feel bad for Saber, especially what happened to him earlier this year for some unnecessary drama he had to deal with. And also the fact clearly Mr. Enter hasn't clearly fucking changed. Kinda ironic that years ago when I was a dumb kid, I would always make videos about how much I really despise Mr. Enter, because now it's kind of become more ironic that there's more people that are shitting on Mr. Enter nowadays compared to back then, where he had like basically a legion of fans. Yeah, that's one thing I'm never gonna miss about the old days. There are some channels that would often cover animation or cartoons pretty well, like cartoon aesthetics, or if it's a channel that talks about bad cartoons or just laughably bad cartoons, I guess Bayless would be one for extra credit, and also Brendan Tennell. But Brendan Tennell mainly focuses on cult movies, he's done in animation. And Bayless, I mean, he basically was the reason most people know about Dingo Pictures, including me, so. What I'm basically trying to say is that there's not that many channels that would often cover animation or cartoons similar way to something like, I don't know, like when Hats Off Entertainment talks about old movies, or Patman QC would always do documentaries about old video games. Just overall fun videos about someone just geeking out or having like historian levels of knowledge of old cartoons and animation. Like kind of like a Roger Ebert or Leonard Maltin type of person. The only closest person that would most likely honestly talk about animation would be Mike Matei, especially because of a video that he has on his membership channel where he talks about his animation collection. Which, if you're a member, please do check out that video. That video is a really good video. Even though it's through a paywall, it's a really good showcase of him nerding the hell out about Golden Age era animation. And it kind of inspired me to even tackle that next year. Which now kind of brings me to a bit of a more smaller thing that I'll cover next year and that would be rants. Rants is going to be more of a smaller thing I'll talk about, and it's mainly just going to be more, again, the similar topic, like nerdy crap. One that's going to be the first of these few rants would be a rant on Cartoon Network home video releases. Mainly because of how lackluster and how picky Warner Brothers tends to be about certain shows being on home video, and how they just really were lazy with certain home video releases. One that I can name right now that really was very disappointed to me would be the Ed and Eddie DVD that they put out for the 30th anniversary. That is just the most disappointing and saddest DVD that they ever made, and it's sad that cartoon got a really lackluster DVD. Meanwhile, fucking Captain Planet got both a DVD and a Blu-ray, and it's like $80. It's like, oh, come on, man. It's not gonna be very that angrily or whiny like how certain cartoon reviewers would do rants, or certain other people would do rants. Like, this is no way gonna be something like an Ellis Mark rant. It's gotta be more kind of like a general, like, opinion. But I will sound a little bit angry, but it's not gonna be like I'm whiny or furious. If you want to know something similar to that, just check out Special Distance Syndrome again. Like, Special Distance Syndrome is kind of a great example of what those rant videos would be like. Another thing that's most likely going to be either channel related or actually more off channel related, or actually, you know, it is very important, is mainly art and comics. I've been meaning to improve my art skills ever so recently, and I've been barely drawing on, mainly because of laziness, or been more focused on either video crap, or been busy with other things outside of the internet. But art is something that I've been meaning to improve on and touch upon again. Same goes with comics, which I guess a thing I keep on forgetting to mention prior update videos. And, well, I actually kind of mentioned it last year. And for those who haven't been really reading my posts, Damn Hellsing is actually finally finished. And it's only available on Newgrounds. I have plans to put them up on 2 other comic sites, so I can make it more widely available. I would put it on Webtoon, but I kind of got fucked over by Webtoon, and I really have a bit of a grudge with Webtoon because they age restricted my older comics for no reason, even though like there's no graphic material in those old comics. That, and another thing is that if you just so happen to enjoy Damn Hellsing that much, the comic is also now available physically as a KDP book on Amazon. It's mainly available through the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and some parts in Europe, and some parts in Asia, and even New Zealand. If you like it, do let me know, and if you like it enough, go ahead and feel free to buy the book. If you don't, then that's fine, and plus the comic will always forever be free online, and I've always intended to be that way. Like, the comic will be always a free webcomic first, and then eventually I would make it available as an optional purchase to buy it on as a physical book. I don't know if book 2 would most likely happen next year, or I don't know, maybe the year after next year, but I hope to plan to do more comics, either a Damn Hellsing book 2, or even some one-shot stuff, or mini-comic stuff, or even simple short strips that I could do. Because that's one thing I want to do more art stuff again. And now, one last thing I would like to cover, and that is something that's going to be very big and interesting to talk about next year. Some lost videos. You see, I have many video plans that I had all the way back in between 2019 to 2022 that never really went anywhere. But thankfully, I managed to still have the files to these videos either unedited or never been edited, or fully edited but never been uploaded to the internet. I can name one that I can't make it anymore because I sadly lost the files. I could recreate a scene from it, and that is an idea for my first ever YouTube poop, which was Apu's Road Rampage, which was supposed to be a YouTube poop based on The Simpsons Road Rage. In fact, I think I can recreate one of the scenes that was going to be in that poop right here if I want to.
Dad.
Quit playing those stupid video games, boy. I want to watch TV.
No way.
Why, you little bastard! My face hurts again.
That, and also showcase some of the failed Gmod machinimas that never went anywhere, like the earliest attempts of another episode of Shadow the Hedgehog, which, if you haven't been following me for years, Shadow the Hedgehog was a thing that used to be on the channel, but I kind of stopped after I decided to go with the essay format. I don't mind machinimas and parody stuff. I would like to kind of go back to those things again, mainly as a one-time thing. And I have plenty of videos that were gonna be machinimas, but they either just ended up being cancelled, or I just never bothered finishing it. And it would be nice to just show them the next year and see what I had, because those I still have access to, because the Apu YouTube, unfortunately, that was on my old computer, and my old computer had lots of issues to the point that the hard drive has to be fucking replaced and shit, and it's not even on my OneDrive or Google Drive. It was just basically wiped entirely, alongside some other projects that I can't seem to recreate. But yeah, that's one thing I'm hoping to do next year, and that's pretty much it. I'm very excited for next year, and I hope to upload more videos than I do than last year, or even this year, 2025, 2024, 2025. Till then, I hope you have a happy holiday, happy shut the fuck up, happy birthday Jesus, and have a very joyful and very happy new year. Cheers and take care, and I'll see you all in 2026.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the alt. It's technically dead.
Oh lord, I'm just fucking with you.
But I have made some shitposts just throughout the year that will most likely be uploaded to there. I don't know what else will do in that channel, because it's just mainly just a garbage bin channel that I would upload like random clips that I recorded or whatever. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about this channel, so that's, again, till then, I'll see you all in 2026, and have a good rest of your day, afternoon, and night. Take care.